Hi. If you're new here, I'm Jen. This is jyndrawz, and to the returning visitors, hi. So today is going to be a speed draw, speed paint of the longer version that I posted yesterday. And I know everybody doesn't have 2.5, 3 hours to watch the full version, nor the patience, nor really want to. So I'm posting this sped up version so you can at least see the whole process and get my full thoughts and feedback on it. And well, I thought that would be really fun so that if you still wanted to see some of the techniques that I used or things that I did and how I created this, you can. It's in a nice little 30-minute package. You can put it on and watch it. Or if you really, really want to see how I did this, you can watch the longer version. Put that one on, give it a view, and yeah, learn some new things. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I already knew all those things, and or just see the creation of this. These are the colors that I'm using in this creation. I will have them linked down below. I will list them down below in the description box. So if you want to try this yourself, you can try and find similar colors or use these exact colors. And you can do this probably in NeoColors too, like I did, or in alcohol markers or water-based markers, or in watercolors, gouache, probably even acrylic paints. And paint something similar. As I was mentioning in the long version, I had just finished watching House of the Dragon and I was really loving it, and I really wanted to play with my NeoColor 2's since I had them out, and I didn't want to dig out the full set, and so I just said, you know what, can I not make something with the current colors that I have out? And I was like, you know what, I can do something similar and good enough and close enough, and if I layer them up, I can get pretty close to the colors that I want without having to dig out my big 84 color set and pick out the perfect colors and spend hours on that. I just wanted to color something. So I found the crown from Renera online. I printed it out in black and white, and as you saw, I traced it onto the watercolor paper. I then used a kneaded eraser to erase any excessive graphite so that would not interfere with the coloring with the watercolors or with the neon colors, because they are like watercolor sticks pretty much, kind of, sort of, but then with wax. So are they watercolors? Well, you know what? I'll leave that up to somebody else who's wiser in this category than I am, since I'm very new to this. But I did have so much fun creating this. I am still in awe of it, and I don't dare want to touch it and make in a background or anything like that. So I'm still leaving that as is for now. And as you see, I am using a Caran water brush, and this is the one with the felt tip. They have 3 of them, a red, a black, and a blue. The black and the blue have the traditional bristles that are like water brushes are, but this one has a felt tip. So it's kind of like you're coloring with a marker. Once you get the material wet and you have the tip have enough water, so you're kind of like coloring with a marker, which is very interesting and very fun. I had a lot of control over how much water was coming out, that I didn't do too much or too little, and it was just like my ultimate sweet spot for using like these crayons and then with the water brush, because I have swatched them out and I use like the traditional water brush, but I felt like I always had too much water and then it would pool, and then or I'd have too little water and whatnot. And this one is becoming my ultimate favorite one to use. So I think I'm going to use this one now when I use anything that has water soluble media, and because it is really my favorite. I think I'll probably have to get rid of all my other water brushes and just get a couple more of this one. I don't know how long that felt tip is going to last. I'm sure it has a decent lifespan, like any of the water brushes. I don't know. I've never used one up or used one down to the point where I felt like I needed to replace it. This is my first one, and I've hardly used it as is. But I will say this was so fun. So fun. And I still cannot believe I colored this. It is... I mean, sure, maybe I could probably add in some more darks and give it a bit more depth, but I almost feel like then it might look really cartoonish. And I really don't want to go down that road. I really kind of like the semi-realism that it has right now. So I'm going to leave it as is. And I might digitally, after I scan it in, might add a background to it or add a drop shadow to it. I will see how I feel about that. And then maybe I will like go in with the crayons and add an actual background or drop shadow to it. I don't know. Right now I'm just loving it as is, and I'm thinking about, okay, how can I frame this? How can I preserve this so that it doesn't get damaged or anything like that? And since I did use NeoColors, it should be fade resistant because they're supposed to be color light fast and all. I don't even know what the rating is of the crayons that I actually use, but I'm gonna guess that they have like a very good rating since they are from Caran and they are the NeoColor 2's. So I'm gonna hope that they have a very good light fast rating. I mean, I don't have any true really direct sunlight into my office or art room, so I should be fairly good. And if I put it behind glass, maybe I'll get some like UV glass or something and put it in a frame and hang it up. I'm just, I can't believe it. I'm just so gushing over it, how great it looks. I am just so happy with it. And during this coloring, I pretty much use techniques that I use and do when I do alcohol marker art. I do like a light layer, and then I did a darker layer, and then once it dried, I would do another layer over that and just kind of keep building up the color. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do with these crayons or not. I haven't watched enough other YouTubers using them to know for sure, but this is what I did. This is what worked for me, and I think it turned out really great. So if you have some NeoColors, or NeoColor 2's I should specifically say, you should give this a try. Try layering them up, seeing what you can do, seeing what you can create with them. And as you saw, to create this brass or gold color, I just had 3 colors. It's like a yellow, a light yellow, and then a Zinc Ochre, I think it was called. Again, I'll have the colors listed down below. And that's how I created this gold or brass look and kept it really shiny and really bright. And I'm watching this back yet again. I'm just, it is so awesome. I love it so much. I don't even see really anything that I could do to improve it. If you know of something that I should think about, consider doing on like maybe my next piece to make it even better, I gladly accept comments and recommendations and any tips and tricks that you have that you say, hey, you know what, if you do this with the crayons, it will be even better. I don't know, whatever it'll do, it'll be better. Please leave a comment down below. I really want to hear any tips or tricks that you might have about how to use these crayons even better, because right now they are really just so awesome. I can't believe how awesome they are. And I think I'm going to be using them for the rest of this week, at least for sure, and coloring some more things. And yes, I traced this because I did not want to spend an hour drawing it and making sure that it's perfect and symmetrical and all of that good stuff that goes into it. I just wanted to color. So that's why I traced the image. I don't care. I just wanted to color, so I just traced an image. And like I said, I'm not selling this or anything. I'm just using it to learn how to play with these crayons, how to color with them, how to create 3D realism, all that good stuff with it, and applying the things that I know about creating that depth and dimension. Because in the image originally it had front lighting, so I had to rethink about where the shadows were, because all of my lighting I like to do is from the top left. So I had to like okay, they have lighting there, but really that's in the background for me, and the light wouldn't hit there. So I had to kind of rethink it a little bit, and I think I did a really great job on that. I mean, yeah, I probably could have darkened the right hand side a bit more, but I really love how bright and bold it is. I mean, that's just kind of my style. I really like bold things. I've always liked really bold things. I mean like blue and black and silver, but I like the boldness of it. So that's where I was going with this. And as you see, I was also using hot press paper. I thought that was probably my best choice for doing this since I wanted a really smooth result. And I'm not doing nature, so I thought cold press would be too grainy and would grit too much. So that's why I went for hot press. Was that a good choice? I don't know. I've never tried these on cold press paper to make a full illustration before. So maybe I'll have to try this out also on cold press paper and see what happens then. Maybe it's fine, but I was having a great time with this hot press paper from Speedball. It was working for me. I don't know. If you have a recommendation that I should use cold press paper instead to create artworks like this with the crayons, or because of the way I applied the crayons and the way I'm liquefying them all down, that cold press isn't necessary because I am not needing that texture to add another layer or to go over the crayon after it's been liquefied with some other material, some other medium, that this is probably the best option. I'm not that well versed into which is better to use for which situation. I just know that people who do like sceneries and outdoor stuff, they usually use cold press because they want that granulation and that texture because that's what greenery has. And where I'm creating more metal and gems that are more flat, high polished things, that the hot press is better since it's smoother. I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Is that true? I'm still learning here, and I'm really wanting to learn a lot more. So if you know, please leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'm going to have to Google and do my own research for it, of course, as well. And if you are liking this video and you want to see more of my creations like this, please drop a subscribe, drop a like, share with your friends. I would really appreciate it. And I hope that you stick around and you watch to the end. And if you really liked how this went and you want to see more in like slow motion, real time, how I created this, I do have the full real time version on my YouTube channel. I will link it in a card above and in the description box down below so that you can then follow along in full real time to see how I created this, all the strokes, every little detail that I did. Or maybe this sped up version is already good enough. You get the idea because you're more of an experienced crayon artist. Then that I understand as well. Again, just watching this back, I can't believe how well I did. I've never done a piece this large, 8x10 it was, 8x10. I've never done anything this large with crayons. I've just done swatching with them and little doodles here and there and using them in coloring books for little parts and bits just to try them out. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I was really, really amazed at how little of the crayon was worn down by the time I was done with this. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to get to actually peel off a layer of the paper because I'm going to use so much of my crayons now and it's going to be really good. I'm going to use down my crayons. These have so much pigment that I barely even took down the point on them. Barely. I'm like, oh my god, this is like colored pencils all over again. I have enough supplies to last my lifetime and many lifetimes over if I don't start making more art and using these up. I now understand when Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, says that supplies last really long and don't let them sit on the shelf and you need to use them up, and that there's more in the pencil and the crayon than you think there is. Yep, absolutely. There is so much pigment in these that it's going to take forever to use them up. Forever. They are so pigmented. I even did layers, and yet still, I barely even wore down the point. On many of them, there's still that original sharpened point from the factory on them because I used so little. Even though I'm layering over and I'm re-wetting it, I'm liquefying it down, I'm adding another layer, it is just, there's just so much there. They are such great value, I think. I know they're expensive, but They have really great value, I think. And I'm ecstatic and I'm really happy with them, and I can't wait to make some more art with them. I think they have now moved up to probably my second favorite art supply. I'm going to say they're second, yeah. I think they've moved up there, especially with the result that I got and everything like that. So cool. So cool. I just need to figure out a better way to get in the white highlight. Maybe I need to be a little more aggressive with the white crayon so that I can get that more bright white highlight on top. Or I'm going to have to go for gouache so that I can get that real bright highlight. But I was really kind of hoping just to stick to one medium and just use just the crayons. But maybe if I load up my water brush a bit thicker and a bit heavier with the white, I can layer that on a bit more aggressively. So you get that real bright shine. Or indeed, I probably will have to find gouache, or there was something else that was also white and matte that you could apply. I think that was Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof. I think that's also a matte white that you can use. Because I'm afraid that all the acrylic markers are going to have like that shine to it, and where these crayons are very matte. I don't think that would be a great combination to add to it. Maybe it will. I don't know. I'll have to try it out. I don't even know if acrylic markers will stick on top of this since it's very waxy. I think they say fat over lean, so maybe not. I don't know. Something to try out, I guess. Do you know? If you know if I can add an acrylic marker on top of this to add that white highlight and it will actually stick and not flake off, please leave a recommendation down below in the comments, and I'm definitely going to give it a try. And since I've opened up like almost all of my mystery art boxes, I'm sure whatever you mention I might have. It might be a small little sample model of it, but I probably have it, and I can give it a try and give it a go and see if I can use that to add a brighter, whiter highlight to this piece. Because maybe that's what it's missing. A tiny little bit. Tiny little bit. But I think overall, the white that I have for the highlight, I think is great still. I mean, it really fits with the dreaminess of the piece, and I'm really liking that a lot. That it kind of has this bright glow and halo around it without having a real halo around it. It just looks kind of dreamy to me in person. So that's really cool. I really love this. And I really loved the show, House of the Dragon. I can't wait till the final season. That is going to be, I'm wondering where they're going to end it on, because I have not listened to the book yet. Just like I haven't listened to any of the Silo books yet that I really want to listen to, but the seasons and the series is not over yet, and I don't want anything spoiled. So I guess only next year can I listen to it and find out exactly who, what, and how much they deviated from it. Even though by now I could listen to some other books since we finished those seasons. Yeah. But I got to get caught up on a whole bunch of other books that I'm listening to before the new ones come out of them as well. Oh, so many books to listen to. What books are you listening to? I'm trying to get through A Court of Thorns and Roses, that whole series, before the new ones come out in October, November, something like that. I know I'm really far behind. Everybody's probably already listened to them all, and they're all caught up, and they're waiting for the new ones to come out. But I only recently got into the series. I think it was like January when I first started listening to book 1. I'm now halfway through book 3. So I'm getting there. It's just really, I gotta find the time to have time to listen to it and stop watching YouTube videos and learning new things and just listen to an audiobook for a change. Anyways, back to the piece. As you see, we are almost done. We just have that centerpiece to do. And yes, I intentionally left the center to last, because after I'd figured out how to do the brass, I was like really happy with that. I wanted to continue the technique I was using to do that. I really liked how I crafted the steel color and how I added the shadows for the brass and the steel, and I really made that look really 3D, and that was all coming out well. I was really nervous about doing the copper part because the red I had was really a bright red, And the brown I had was really dark brown. I was like, okay, you know, you've done the rest of the piece. And you know, if you layer, you can get them to mix, and you can mix on the page and it'll all turn out fine. Just do it in light layers and then all will be good. You can correct anything. You have a white so you can lighten it up if need be. You can add some more brown to give it more of a dark, rusted, does copper rust? I'm not sure what copper does, but that kind of dingier, darker red color that copper is, that isn't that bright red or bright pink color usually. So I really wanted to keep in that, but then I was thinking, you know what? The Targaryen colors is really that deep red with black. So I was like, okay, it's okay if I go really dark with this because that does match their house colors. So it'll be fine if I go a little darker and I use a little bit less red and more of this dark brown color to really tone it down and everything. So I was like, okay, it'll all be fine. It'll all work out. We're in the home stretch here. You won't mess up. It'll all be good. It'll all be good. we're only 2.5 hours into this in real-time painting. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, it'll be good. I'll just layer some red over this brown. It'll be this really nice dark brown red color, so it looks like the dragons are engraved into it. So they are standing up and the background is engraved away. So you get that real depth and feel of this sigil of this dragon on it with 3 heads. Yes, 3 heads on it. And that it will come out and it'll all be fine. And I had mixed some white in there so that it would kind of give like this matted look to it on the outside edge, so that the center would be a bit more rich and dark and stand out a bit more, because it was more like of a coin type thing that was attached to the front of the crown. I really wanted to keep that kind of look, even though it was really just a single piece of copper. I really wanted to give it a little bit more depth and give you that so that you see the dragon and yeah, see that a bit more, and it becomes a little more clear to you that there's a dragon there and that it's been carved into this piece of copper. Sometimes the brush was running a bit dry and I would have to like keep clicking the button, and then I was like, okay, if I push the plunger down, I would sometimes get a bead of water and then I had to dap that off because that's your worst nightmare, is having this big clump of water drop down on the piece. And that happened once, and I was like, don't panic, just let it dry, we can fix it later. And I did. It all worked out fine. And now I'm using this light gray color kind of as a bit of a relief. It acts as a bit of a relief so that when I go over with the red and the brown, that kind of sticks up a little bit, just to give that dragon a little bit more depth, and like it's really raised from the base of the copper. So that's what I was doing with that white. I didn't know if it for sure was going to work, but it actually did work out really well because I pressed really hard on the white. Well, it wasn't white, it was light gray. I pushed really hard with that down so that it would be really stuck to the paper, and then I like scumbled over it with the red so that it was kind of like on top of the white, so that when I liquefied it down, that white didn't liquefy as easily and as quickly because the red was a thinner layer and it would liquefy faster and quicker than that light gray did, and the darker gray as well. So that's why I did that. And I'm adding a bit of an outline there just to give it a bit more of a sharper edge. And then I'm scumbling over with the dark brown, just so that that red isn't like blinding bright red, because it's not supposed to be bright red. It's supposed to be copper, which is a bit more reddish brown mostly. And then you see here I'm liquefying, I'm like, oh no. Oh, I didn't do enough. It's way too light. But there's like, no, this is good. This is a good base layer, because then I can go over the top of it again with the red and brighten it up and give it more depth. And as you see, it almost, that white is acting like the relief that I was hoping it would, so it would give some, like there was edges to the dragon on the coin. And I was like thinking the whole time, okay, almost to the finish line, almost to the finish line. Just have to finish off this coin in the center here with the copper going around it and adding some white highlights. And then I was thinking about, okay, do I want to do that background? Do I want to do that background? I'm thinking in the back of my head, do I want to do that background, or does this already look so awesome on the white background that I shouldn't tinker with it and do a red background that fades to black? Like, that could be really dramatic and really cool, but this is turning out just so awesome. I'm thinking in my head, I don't want to mess this up. I have already spent, by now, I'm probably like 2 hours 45 into it real time. I'm like, I really don't want to mess it up. I really don't want to mess it up. So I'm like thinking, no, you know what? I'm just going to finish it off as is and just sit on it for a couple days, maybe a week, and really think about if I want to add anything more to it. And maybe I'll just add something to it digitally. And if I like that, then I can add to it in real. I'm still having my doubts about it, as you can tell. But, yeah, I know it probably would look really awesome, but it could also, like, totally break it, and I don't want to break it. I'm so afraid to break it because this is my first piece, and it looks so good, so maybe I will save that for a future project. And as you see, I added some more of that white in, and then I was like, yeah, that's a little bit too chunky, so then I just went over it with the wet tip there to fade it out a little bit more. And I was like, the dragon is still looking a little too light. Let's do what I did with the white crayon to get that highlight. Let's also do it with the red crayon and add some more of that red to it to give it more darkness and depth and make it really pop from the page. And maybe it pops too much from the crown, and the crown part is a little too dull, but I don't know, I kind of like how it's really red and really bold and really in the middle, and the crown is, you know, just that brass golden look to it because their colors are that deep red and black. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Have you seen the show? Did you watch the series? Did you watch the previous series? Or are you not a person who likes House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, that type of thing? But I thought it was really good. I'm really liking how this third season really developed and really where it went. And I really feel for Rhaenyra. She really tried her best. She really wanted to be the peacemaker. And everybody just had their own thing. And they got what they wanted in the end. And she did what she didn't want to do, but she had to do, because if she didn't, she wasn't getting anywhere. And sometimes you just got to go in with the cleaver, because otherwise they're just going to keep walking all over you. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to give any spoilers out in case you haven't seen the end of season 3, even though I'm pretty sure by now everybody's already seen it, because I'm like 2 or 3 weeks behind when it actually aired. The piece is now finished. As you can see, those are the colors that I used. That's the water brush I used. And if you like this video, please give me a subscribe. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, and I would like you to join me there. And a like is always appreciated. And until the next video, guys, bye!